Hi there everyone, Life DIY Josie here. Welcome back to my channel. Here are 7 cooling wire rack hacks. I'm going to be using 2 cooling wire racks from Dollar Tree as well as 3 pieces of these pen cup holders that you can also get at Dollar Tree. I'm going to be reusing these twist ties. These are from some wire packaging. However, you can also use small size zip ties if you have them. I'm going to be attaching my first pen cup holder at the center, right where that vertical line is, and using my twist tie, and if you want your zip ties, just insert it at that portion where there is a seam. It's better to position the seams at the back so that you will have a solid look at the front. So I am going to attach this first on this vertical wire at the center, that demarcation there. But before I do that, I will be applying some hot glue here at the center. And then I will be tying my twist tie onto that rack. And I will be reinforcing it also with E6000 because E6000 is tougher and it lasts longer than the hot glue. Hot glue, you can easily rip that off, but the E6000 or any commercial grade strong bond glue will do the work. Like super glue or gorilla glue would do the work as well. Now if you want, you can tie 3 zip ties from the bottom, middle portion, and at the top. You probably wouldn't even need to use some glue on that one, but if you prefer to have a stronger hold, if you're putting something heavy, then reinforce it with E6000 or any strong bond glue. So on the second pen cup holder, I am going to be repeating the steps, but I am just trying to make sure that I have enough space for that and also for my third cup on the other side. I'm also making sure that I align all cups, and then I will connect the second and the third cups in the same manner that I connected the one at the middle or the first cup that I attached. And for the other one, I am going to be using this letter sorter or holder or organizer in the same finish as the pen cup holder, and they usually come out or become available at dollar stores during the back to school season at the home office or school supplies section. So I'm just going to be applying hot glue first and then reinforce it with also E6000, making sure that they are aligned at the center in order for them to be stable. Again, if you want to use zip ties to reinforce further, you can do so. Just make sure that the zip ties are seamless or hidden at the back. And I just hung them on the wall using galvanized carpenter nails. So for the 3 pen cup holders, I use them to organize pencils and pens and even a calculator. And then the filing sorter that I have on the left, I use to sort files, folders, and notebooks as well as letters. And this can be placed right above the desk. Here are the materials that you'll be needing to create this caddy. Connect the first wire rack to the bottom of the shower caddies. So you do it first on one shower caddy on one side, and then you'll connect the other shower caddy to the other side. Use 3 zip ties to make the connections on each side, so a total of 6 zip ties. Tighten each connection and make sure that everything is stable. Lay down the connected pieces on its side to make it easier for you to connect the other wire racks. So I'm adding the second wire rack to the top portion. If you see what I'm doing here is I'm aligning it to the bar or support of the back of the shower caddies. Just like with the first wire rack, you will need 3 zip ties on each side. Total of 6 zip ties. Tighten them and then cut the excess zip ties. And the third wire rack as the backing. So to protect whatever you're putting on top of each wire rack that you connected earlier, you will use the third wire rack as a backing. This will make the assembly more durable and stable and prevent wobbling. Tighten each zip ties and then cut the excess. So you can stop here. It's already a functional organizer. However, I've added a fourth wire rack at the bottom. I've shown here also that it can be movable, but I have opted for it to be more stable, and I tied it up, and I used the last bottom inch here to connect this last piece. And this is where I used to place my planner and my notebook there at the bottom. And it also adds additional stability. Again, this is optional, especially for this purpose that I'm going to be showing you. Attach it with zip ties and again, cut. So again, you can end it with just 3 wire racks when you put the backing, that's done. But the fourth one would also add stability. And this is what it looks like after you assembled all the wire racks and the shower caddies. You can leave it as is, but I also added a handle so that I can carry it easily. I chose this 12-inch tension rod from the 99 cents only store. However, the 99 cents only store doesn't exist anymore. Or you can use the wooden handle of the toilet plunger that they sell at Dollar Tree. Or you can also buy dowel rods that you can get at Walmart inexpensively. I also use zip ties to attach the rod to the top or the handles of the shower caddy. Here it is with the added handle, and I've added also a couple of small baskets there and then 2 big baskets at the center. So now I'm going to set this up for entertaining, and this will be a perfect caddy for hosting parties or get-togethers, whether indoors or outdoors. I will be showing you several iterations or combinations of the large and the small or skinny baskets that they sell at Dollar Tree. This one comes, I think, 2 in a pack for this large one at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and then the skinny ones, I think they come at 3, sometimes 4 in a pack. So you can put it this way. It fits 2 large, shallow, slotted baskets perfectly in each tier. It'll fit 4 skinny baskets in one shelf. Different combinations or mixing and matching them will also maximize their usage. So partner those 2 skinny baskets with 1 large basket on top, and you can even flank 1 large one with 2 skinny ones. So here's how I'm going to set this up. I have 1 large basket here on the top, and this is where I'm going to be putting my plastic cups for drinks. Here's an extra tip for you. Add a permanent marker and put it here on this corner, and then instruct your guests to mark their names on the cups so that they don't lose their cups or interchange them with the others. To the right of the large basket, I'm placing the forks, the plastic forks, and then on the other skinny basket, I placed also the paper plates. And below that, I use 1 skinny basket for the plastic spoons and another skinny basket for the knives. And then I have this large one to hold the napkins. I will be using the caddies or the shower caddies to hold the sauces and condiments. So I can hold 2 bottles of sauces and condiments on each side. More condiments in small sachets are placed in one skinny basket that I am going to be placing below the bottled condiments on each side. So on the left, I have some lemon juice in small plastic bags. So this one is ready for entertaining, whether it's outdoors or indoors, like I said. If you have a big party, create multiples of this that you can place in each section of your buffet tables, and so that you will not have a long queue when you have a lot of guests. But for smaller or more intimate gatherings, this is just perfect with just one caddy like this. Like for example, a family get together on one weekend, whether you're barbecuing or just having lunch with your family and you just want to make them something, and then all of the things that they need to serve and then also for the condiments is just in one place. I like that it's portable and you can carry it wherever you want it. And the fact that it is multi-purpose, you don't have to worry about dismantling it or storing it after entertaining. On the original reference video, I used it as a desktop organizer, and it is very, very useful for that as well. And you can put this even under the sink or the kitchen sink, where you can organize the items underneath your kitchen or even your bathroom sink. The possibilities are endless. That's why I create all these multi-purpose organizers, not just for one functionality. It's versatile, you can carry it anywhere, and you can use it for whatever purpose you deem. And this one is one of my favorites. I am using the cooling racks that they sell at Dollar Tree. They come two in a pack for this size. I don't know if they still carry the smaller size, but nowadays I think they carry a larger size, one for $1, but for the smaller size, they come two for $1. So I found this gold metal wire trays or baskets, and what I'm doing here is I'm going to be creating a 3-tier metal wire organizer. So one of the baskets I'm just using for the bottom of this organizer, so this will not be removable, but the other 2 tiers I'm going to be placing 2 cooling wire racks together so that they'll be more stable, and I'm just tying it to the center of those 2 wire racks that are now on the sides. And then the very top, I'm also using or doubling up my cooling racks and then making sure that they sit on top of the feet of those 2 on the sides. And then for the back, I use 2 tall or longer or the bigger wire racks, and then I am just tying them all, putting them together using zip ties. If you want the longer version or the slower version of this video, I am going to be linking it in the upper right hand corner and also in the description box below. For all the DIYs that you see here, I will be linking all of the links to the original video so you can watch them in a slower pace. Unlike this one, it's all fast motion. So as usual, I'm trimming the ends of the zip ties, but I'm adding more zip ties to the center to make sure that it doesn't slide down. So here it is, just doing the final cuts there, and this is my 3-tier wire rack or organizer, and I'm placing the 2 trays on top of each wire racks, the second and the third or the top one, so that it'll be removable, kind of like a drawer pull system. But I'm also showing you here another option. They sell this size as well of those metal baskets or golden metal wire baskets that are in square, and you can pretty much use any type of organizer like this one that I got at Daiso, and just mix and match and use whatever you have so that you can use this for your home office, so for incoming and outgoing paperwork. But this one is multi-purpose. You can use it for anything. I'm thinking you can even use this to organize your canned goods, you know, put them laying down and then put your canned goods in there, kind of like a dispenser as well. I like how versatile this organizer is, and here it is propped up with some of my planner stickers. I'm creating a two-tier metal rack organizer. So this one actually I'm using again those smaller ones, two in a pack, those cooling racks. Now again, you could probably use just one large one that they now sell at Dollar Tree. I've used the tag here as a guide so that I connect or expand the two and then connect them. And again, this was before they started selling the longer ones. This DIY was created during the time that they have not been selling the longer or the bigger cooling racks. If you are going to use the single long one, I suggest using a double layer or double them up for a stronger shelf. So I connected two pairs to create my shelves. And then I am going to be connecting or constructing the sides as well. Just using a single rack and having it sit on top of this notch, or what I call the feet, because when you lay it on top of the counter to cool your cookies or food or baked goods, that's what's sitting on top of the counter. So I call them the legs or the feet. And that's where I connect or intersect my cooling racks that I connected to this other cooling rack, making sure that the edge is connecting to the feet so that it will not slide down. It is sort of a protection or reinforcement so that the connection doesn't slide down. Of course, using hot glue and E6000 will reinforce the connection, but it's good to have that as a reinforcement as well that is built into the wire racks. So I'm just repeating on the other side the same steps that I've done on the other. Just adding more zip ties. If you notice, I wasn't doubling up or winding it several times because it's not gonna look good when it's too bulky. So I just want to keep it as clean as possible. But do whatever you like if you want to wind them several times to make sure that you do not waste also your zip ties or the materials that you have. So I'm connecting now the top shelf the same manner as I created the bottom. Here I'm connecting two smaller cooling wire racks together so that this will act as my backdrop or the backing. Of course, now that they sell the longer, the bigger ones, you probably only need to use one. And I'm just positioning it this way so that it's easier for me to connect the back to the shelves that I created or built. And I am just gonna use more zip ties to make sure that they are connected well. And this is what's gonna keep it in place so that it doesn't wobble. The more zip ties, the merrier. A lot of folks here call me the queen of zip ties because I love using zip ties. So I'm okay with that. As long as it helps out when it comes to building, it makes it easier. Zip ties, or if you want to use those wires, you know, those how many gauge of wires, and probably they would match better with this cooling wire racks. Feel free to use them, but I'm just using the simplest possible method. And if you want to spray paint this all so that those white zip ties do not show up, feel free to do so. But I will show you that once I put another items on top of those shelves, those zip ties will not show up because I'm going to be using the foam board and I will be adding covers to make sure that they don't show up. And speaking of the foam boards, here are the foam boards. These are the measurements, covering them with contact paper that I also got at Dollar Tree. The same one that I used at to decorate the Lazy Susan earlier. So I measured this enough to fit inside. And here I'm placing some organizers. These ones I bought at Daiso. They're $1.50 each. This one also, the tray that you will see, or the bin on the top. But this one is from Dollar Tree, the one with the cover that I showed briefly there. And of course, these are the combinations of baskets or trays that I got at Daiso. For this DIY, you will need one cooling rack. You can get this at Dollar Tree. I have a stash of supplies, and one of them is this smaller size. They come out now as bigger size, almost double the size of this one. And when I purchased this, everything was still Dollar Tree, and they came 2 in a pack. But now you can buy 1 in a pack, but bigger than this. This can be done in the bigger style as well. And then you will need 3 of these skinny baskets. Often you'll see them 3 in a pack for $1.25 these days, but sometimes they have those specials where you can get 4, even 5 in a pack. So I'm gonna use this in reverse or upside down, because you could see that there are feet here, and I'm gonna try to take advantage of those. So what I'm gonna do is a 3 shelf organizer, where the steady one or fixed one will be in the middle, and then the 2 shelves will be removable using this feet. You can utilize as sort of a hook. So for the first one, I am just gonna align it to where the 2 feet are, because this is plastic. It can easily be adjusted as needed. So you can use it like that, kind of loosely, but it will hold, right? Now, if you wanted to make it permanent, for more or additional stability or security, you can bend the feet. You can make it more stable if you want to put something heavier. But I will not do that, because I'm going to put something light here for my craft room. And then for the top one, I will do the same thing. So what I'm gonna do here is, you will see the second slot and try to align that. So this is the second slot here, and this is the second slot here as well. So just kind of force it, not too much. Of course, it will adjust to it. You can force it a little bit and it will sit there. So you already have the 2 shelves. So you can see this already as 2 shelves, right? Or you have 2 shelves that are removable, and it's pretty stable. Especially, again, I will use it for something light. And then on the middle one, I can use this portion here where I can tie up, crisscross the zip ties. Take advantage of this part here, the middle divider. Then the tendency of it sliding down will be very, very minimal. I'll use a different color. I'll use red so that you can see it better, because my backdrop is already black. And for our friends who have difficulty seeing things, like those who are vision impaired, I think they will see better using a contrasting color. So I'm just gonna be tying this in this corner here. I'll insert it from the first slot. See here? I'll insert it from the first slot to capture this solid part here to intersect. And I have to make sure that it still aligns. And then I will connect it in a diagonal way, crisscross pattern, because it's not really straight. See here? And then I'll go ahead and capture that one. And then I'm gonna tie it up loosely first before I make my final cut. I'll tie it not too tight, but enough for me to also line it up. because I want to make sure it's centered when I finish this off, because once I tighten it, it's not gonna be as easy to move. So here it's gonna go on the second slot, and I'm just putting it also so that it will align to this other one here. And then I am going to, there, see? So I'm still capturing it. If you can peek through it, I'm still capturing it in a diagonal way so that again, it will not slide down. And then before I lock it, I have to make sure it's centered like that, see? And then I'll do this a little upside down so that you will see what I'm doing better. And then now I can tighten it and then tighten it here as well, this other one. Okay, see? And you're pretty much not able to move it up or move it down because it's locked in place. I'm gonna add one more here just to ensure that I have really a very stable connection in diagonal or crisscross pattern. So it's not gonna move, cut the excess. Make sure it's tight, especially the edges. The middle, it's not too critical, but make sure that everything is tight. Okay, so I have an adhesive hook here, and they also sell adhesive hooks at Dollar Tree. So let me just show you first this with the middle shelf. Okay, so this is my adhesive hook. I would like to advise to use two. One on each end so that it will be more balanced. But since I only have one here and this is just for demonstration purposes, it's a little bit slanted. I do have this double adhesive tape, so I'm gonna put it here in the middle so that in the same section where there is that middle portion there, just to make it a little bit straight. And my suggestion is again to use two adhesive hooks. But you can use this technique also. See, that's already straight. This is where I put it. You can hardly see it because it's transparent, but it's there, see? And it's holding it in place. I'm gonna set up as a ribbon dispenser here. I'm transferring my ribbons from the white one because I want to color coordinate. I'm putting it in the blue one. So I am just going to push this dowel rod 12-inch long. I'm just threading it through, okay? And you could pretty much look at it, and then you can go straight all the way to the end. Then that's it. So I'll just go ahead and push through the hole. So I'm going to be hanging it here as a detachable shelf. It can hang on its own. Push this from this slot here, the open slot, to align it here, and then the other open slot here. It's the second on each side, the second slot here, and then from the end here, the second from the left and the right. So just push it from the bottom, you push it out. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. So there is it. Okay. So again, because this spool is light, it'll hold it. So it is detachable. So this is how it is. Let me just pull from one spool. Of course, you don't want to yank it without grace, right? Be graceful, be gentle, so that it doesn't come out like, but of course, if you want that, you want to be rough on it, aggressive, then don't make it detachable. You can just tie it with zip ties, or like I said earlier, you can use a plier to just bend it. So bend this one towards here, and then bend this one towards to the left, this one to the right, and then it'll secure it in place. Maybe add a couple more zip ties in between, and that will hold that in place. But I like the idea of always having something detachable I don't want to bring the whole thing, so I'm just going to bring one shelf, and I can just remove this and then bring it somewhere and then put it back again. Now for this other shelf or basket, you will see that I have an assortment of washi tapes. And again, I want it to be detachable because sometimes I want to do my planning for the day. I don't have to bring everything. Sometimes I can just pick, oh, I want to use this, I want to use that, you know. But if I have multiple projects, I would like to bring the basket with me. And again, if I'm going somewhere, like if I go to a craft club where I meet up with people, then I can bring this and pack this up in my craft bag or suitcase. So I can put this here again and do the same thing, align it to the second slot, and the other one is also the second slot, and voila, align it like that. Here it is. And of course, for the middle one, you can use it for, let's say, craft paint and many more. I'm putting some glue sticks, and you can put spools of threads, any other items you want to use there. You can also put nail polishes, but may I suggest they're heavier than my items here, so please use zip ties in a crisscross pattern, and unfortunately you cannot have them detachable. Okay, so that's it. I'll be using this as a shelf organizer, but this time I'm going to be using it in a different manner. You can bend this, so what you can do, you can use your hand to force it like this and then put it on the other side as well. It will break if you push it too much, but make sure that you guide it that it's just straight, okay, that it will not snap. Okay, that's it. I am going to be folding one more, so I'll have two. So I got two that I bent. And then what I'm gonna do with this is I am going to put it on top of one wire rack that I have not bent. And then I am going to put them on top to just stabilize both sides, because if I just use the two, tendency is, because those are the feet, it will be a little slanted and I want it straight. So I'm going to take advantage of this other two to partner them up. If you can see here, so it balances this side and it balances this other side as well. I'm going to be using this zip tie again. I have a black zip tie. You can use black or white or whatever color you want. I'm just using red right now. As usual, I try to use contrasting colors. So what I'm gonna do first is tie this up in the middle, okay, in the center here. And you know me, I always say crisscross because I want to lock in the zip ties, okay? I don't want it to slide, because tendency is if I just do it straight, it will still slide. So if I do it diagonal, if I capture this here and I capture the kind of intersections, I call them intersections, I don't know what else to call them, but if I capture the intersection, then you will see it, that you will see that it will not slide off easily. Okay, I am not tightening it yet, but once I tighten it, it locks it up. Okay, so tendency is it's not gonna slide as much. Okay, as you can see here, that's how I connect them together, is in a crisscross, in a diagonal pattern. I don't just do straight, I also connect it here, kind of like in similar area where I connected that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie it up here. The reason why also I'm trying to avoid the corners here, because I want it to be as clean looking as possible. To make it cleaner, I will match up the line. I like to take advantage of the perpendicular connection, and it locks it up better this way too. Then I turn this around to the back so that the bumpy, or so that the bulk or the connection portion is there at the underneath, so you won't see it. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side here. Now I am showing you that it's more balanced, okay, because they have the 4 feet here on the right side, 4 feet on the left side. And then what I'm gonna do on top is I am going to put it here. I will tie this up. So I'm gonna have this also in the same manner aligned to the zip tie, so that at least it looks much nicer that they're aligned. So I'm gonna go ahead and line it up here. You see it here? Did you see that? So it's on there and it's crisscross. And then I'll show you that it shouldn't move anymore. And then the opposite side is also blocked. Okay, let me show you here. Okay, this here is blocking it. Again, on the other one, see, because in the X, it intersects, so it's not moving. And the same thing with this one too. And then you can turn it around, tighten it, and then you'll cut the excess. I'm gonna do it on the opposite end too here, and repeat the steps. Okay, there you go. And use the front as the most aligned. Okay, let me cut the ends now. Make sure that each one is tight before I make the cut. Cut as close to the end. There you go. And then turn it underneath there so that it's still smooth. And then same thing with the rest of them. If you want to make it more secure, you can apply a dab of glue on each end after you cut the excess zip ties. There we go. See? Now you've created already the base of your shelf. Now let's load it up. I think we can utilize this side. Okay, so there it is. So it's still detachable. See that? Still detachable. Again, if you want to secure it further, you can either just use zip ties. If you don't want it to be removable, that's fine too. But you can also fold this here to the right and here to the left. I'm going to be using this thin plastic straw. So it's going to be a little tricky, but I think it will work. Will it fit? I think so. You don't have to have the whole thing. You can cut it into two, okay? Because I think it's not long enough. I want to remove this one here, this bulk here. So I'm just going to split it in two. So this will be my plug. It's still removable, but you have a plug. Like so. Here we go. And also, this one is a good idea also because you can manipulate it because it's made of plastic. Because it's softer, you can actually manipulate it even better than a dowel rod or a stick. And it's still going to hold it in place. See that? And let's see how it works. See? It doesn't dislodge. It's a lot easier. It's more secured. And voila! My ribbon. And let me just put the other. So I'm gonna put this on this side here. Of course, it's easier if it's empty, right? Why work harder? Work smarter. So keep it empty for now. The ribbon is a little tricky to keep empty, but this one, at least so you can see exactly what I'm doing, I'm just locking it in place with this. Because again, I want it to be removable. This wouldn't be an issue if I will just say, okay, just add a zip tie. But I want it removable, so this is a very good solution to keep it in place. Yep, there we go. And I make it straighter. Okay, now it looks a lot better this way and more secured. There you go. So now I can probably put more layers here of my washi. It can carry more load. Okay, so again, that keeps it in place. So now I can put whatever I want to here. Again, if I want to put 4 of these bins on top here, so I can fit this container here. It's a bin. You can find a coordinating color. If you have blue, I wish I had that in blue, but gray is not bad at all. So I'm going to show you what I'm planning on doing with these bins. And these are my stickers. So I'm planning on using this as my scrapbooking supplies for my accessories for my scrapbook. So I can use this. Hopefully it fits. Okay, so 1. I wish I could fit 2, but just being transparent here, it's not gonna fit. So what I can do is kind of mix match. I can have this 2 here. Okay, and then I can have another gray on the top. I wish it fits, but unfortunately it doesn't. But it's still gonna work. So I can put here would be my glitters. These are the mini glitters. I got this at Dollar Tree as well. I can put this. It's another tip for you. If you have this and you don't want them moving around in your bin or your container, your basket, or even your drawer, just use this. Maybe trim it to fit the width. Okay, there we go. So it will fit inside. Okay, so you don't really need to throw away. I can put 2 layers of that glitter as well. So again, I just remove the label or the packaging and then keeping this so it fits. May not be a perfect, but at least it doesn't wobble. Okay, inside the bin. And if you have a drawer organizer, this is a good drawer organizer. It's free as well. So you see that here. And then for the top organizers, I can put for this too. I am going to put my collection or my supplies for twice for making traveler's notebooks. I do have this also. These are the elastic bands that I use for making traveler's notebook as well. This one here too. And I can put them here and they're organized, and then I'm going to put them up on the top. I can put one here and I can put one here. Again, see, it's light. And then here, none of this is super heavy that it will buckle. So this one, I have this on Toro stamps and I still have a lot upstairs, but I can choose which season, for example, that I'm decorating either my scrapbook or my traveler's notebook or my planners. So I have all my planner essentials here when I'm decorating my planners, when I'm making my traveler's notebooks, even scrapbooking. You don't have to put all your supplies in this. This is just going to be your planner supply for the month when you're planning. So that amazing. So let me just show you how expandable it is. I like that this is kind of compact anyway, but I just want to show you how to expand this. So just the same thing. You will use a couple more of this. Align it the way you did for the other one. There we go. And that also kind of makes this portion here a little bit more secure and tougher. And then on the top, you'll put another piece here. And then imagine this, another dispenser here and another dispenser on the other side. And here it is. I have tied them up with zip ties as well to connect them all. And voila! And I will designate this as my paper crafting or for embellishing my planners, journals, traveler's notebooks, making sure that I don't put anything too heavy so that even though this one won't buckle or break, it's just better to put lighter things or lighter items on top so that it won't sag or buckle. Thanks everyone. I hope you found that these collections are helpful. Let me know in the comment section which is your favorite. Have a great day. See you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.